Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 16 of Cultural Talks. This will be like a birthing episode, like birth stories, how you came up with names, um, anything our kids basically did, dumb or not, stuff like that. Just like a highlight of our children and stuff like that. Do you agree, Vanessa, or you have
I
anything
do
to add to that?
agree. Yep. Just birthing stories, potty training stories,
Oh,
um,
That was wild.
um, and how we came up with the names. Can y'all see me? Can y'all
Yeah,
hear
I
me?
think.
Yeah. Okay.
technical difficulties.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. We're just trying to fix some stuff.
Nah, I need that sound to not go off. Go ahead.
Let me know if y'all can hear me.
I think
So-
they can hear you.
Yeah. So anyhow,
Yeah, turn it down, I think.
so we're gonna talk about birthing stories in this episode. Me, when I was having my kids, I swear I was like allergic to having children.
Well, before we start talking about having the kids, I want to say thank you for everybody that cop merch already. We greatly appreciate y'all. As you see, we got some of the hats up. Wearing the hat. My wife is wearing the shirt. I'm wearing the test model for the tracksuit, and my daughter's wearing the hat that she purchased. You know, a lot of y'all have already shown love by purchasing stuff. It's greatly appreciated. Some of y'all orders you haven't received yet, but you will receive shortly. We just want to say thank you.
Yes.
It means a lot to us.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, use are the goats for that.
Share.
Shit.
Share.
Like
Remember-
and share.
You got
Like-
merch? Put it on your story.
Yeah, definitely
Go ahead.
tag us. This is the last episode to like and share to get added to the giveaway. We're gonna be 6 winners.
Y'all better because I paid $20 for my hat.
Yeah. Bro, how much is the tracksuit? Calvin, you gotta hit me up, bro. We'll talk numbers on the side, my brother. Hold on. Let's see there. Kelvin came. Gabi said, "Let's go." Kelvin said, "Wow, I missed today's show. Son of a gun." Nigga ain't even got no kids. I love how that hats are strategically placed. you know, bro. So y'all can see them. If you like, hit me up. We here and we can see you. Y'all sound great. Nice way to merchandise. And yes, I can hear. Okay, thank you. Now sound is perfect. Bro, how much is a tracksuit? Fire. That shit fire. I appreciate you all. Yeah, we're gonna let Vanessa start.
Go ahead, mommy. You got all them kids, girl.
I know. So yeah, so like I was saying, I always felt like I was allergic to having kids because no, for real, I really did think that because I just felt like my body couldn't handle it. Like I would get continuously sick, like all the time. Like most women, they would just throw up for like the first 3 months of their pregnancy, and when I was pregnant with you, I threw up every single day of my pregnancy. Instead of gaining weight, I lost weight. I lost a lot of weight. But with my last child, I ended up getting pre-eclampsia, and I was in the hospital. I want to say like 4 days.
Yeah.
4
it was
days.
bad.
Yeah, 4
It was
days
really
out the
bad.
week. They had to do stress tests. They had to check like how much fluid I had, like, how the baby's in fluid. They had to check that all the time. I had to get induced. I had high blood pressure. It was horrible. It was really horrible. And basically, when I gave birth to Kiani, which is my last baby, I want to say like Lamont like basically almost caught the baby because like it was so fast. I was not even medicated, and the doctors didn't believe me. Like I had broke my water, and I had told them like, listen, like I go real quick. Once my water break, I go real quick, and they had checked me at like 7:00, and at like 7:15, I told them out like, yo, I think she's coming. Like I really think like she's like right here. So he was like, what do you want me to do? I was like, I want you to check. And when he seen like her her head was there.
She was crowning and stuff.
She was definitely crowning, and he started screaming out in the hallway. But he literally, it was him and a nurse, and I remember the nurse couldn't. She didn't even have gloves on. That's how fast she came, right? She didn't even have gloves on.
She didn't have the glove on all the way.
Yeah.
But that's how small Rosie was too.
Yeah, she was very tiny. She was 4 pounds, 1 ounce. She was in the hospital. She was premature. She was in the hospital for 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. And yeah, it was that her pregnancy just, to me, it was it. It was like, you know what, girl? That's it. No more. For Lila was great. Lila was a good pregnancy, but I was still very sick all the time. Just not as sick as I was with Leilani and with Kiani. So
Kiani's pregnancy was a whole...
It was stressful.
It was
bad.
a whole clusterfuck.
I remember. It was really bad.
In the hospital literally every other day to make sure the baby's okay, to make sure you're good. You had super high blood pressure. And I remember she was just basically gave birth on a Monday. Yeah, on a Monday. And that Friday before, they wouldn't induce you because it wasn't 36 weeks. And I had to tell them. So basically what you're telling me is the fluid's leaking, but you're not going to induce because you don't want to risk a lawsuit, is what you're telling me. And then, sure enough, Monday came around for her appointment. Boom, sent her to the Cedar Crest to deliver the baby. It's terrible. I used to work third shift, so I used to work third shift. Work, get home, take her to the appointment, sit with her. I used to be sleeping here like...
Yep. You know what was crazy too? The crazy part was that they used to measure to see how much fluid I had, and I really had no fluid.
That's what I just said.
I know what I'm saying, but like the day that I went in,
You had none.
I had no fluid.
And that was why I was mad, because remember, they were like, no fluid can make, like, baby could have brain damage or something.
Right, and it was crazy because when they had measured it in the hospital, they said that she had like the bare minimum to them. So that's why they sent me to the hospital. But when they checked over there, I had none.
Mm-hmm.
It was like...
Mind you, and it just shipped you over.
Mm-hmm.
Boop.
Literally, within an hour.
And then all of a sudden, it's all gone. Yeah, fucking idiots.
Yeah. Leilani, would you like to share your story?
Hold on, let me read some comments quick.
Okay.
It says, Kelvin said, I needs, dog. That shit fire. Needs the Navy. I ain't gonna lie, you looking mighty sexy in that merch. Get them on deck. And we tagged a few people. Josh, Mac, appreciate everybody stopping by. Please make sure to slap that like/love and share button. All support is appreciated. We love y'all greatly. That's a fact. It says Culture Talks has merchandise already, as you see displayed, hats and tees in multiple colors, as Lamont Phillips is today. Then boom. After Nani had the baby, COVID.
No, facts.
Yo.
Facts. After she came home, that was crazy. After she came home, that's when COVID happened, literally.
Yeah.
I always thank God I did not have her during COVID. It was literally she came home and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
That's when they announced COVID.
Yeah.
COVID was going on. The niggas just announced that shit. Oh, so you can tell your story. We could all talk from different points of view about that.
Mine is really in and out just because I was on medication and I had seizures and I had all that.
You were in a coma?
Yeah. So I'm really like in and out. But that night, I remember I was watching Criminal Minds like the whole night. I was up for mad long. I remember that night I was up for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go to the bathroom. But when I had to go to the bathroom, I tried to go over Justin on the bed. And, well, no, that was the second time. I had got up and ran into his chair. I don't know how I didn't see the chair. I ran, smacked into it, and I crawled to the bathroom. And I went back to bed, and then I had to go pee again. So I tried to go over him and literally just fell. Boop, fell. That's when I texted you, like, hey, can you take me to the bathroom?
Yeah.
And while that's happening, Justin's telling me, why are you being like that? I'm like, being like what?
Right.
Like, I have to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And then that's when I told my mom, I said, girl, I have to go to the hospital.
Yeah, she said she wasn't feeling well. The problem was that as a parent, Leilani wasn't looking right.
Yeah, I was.
So
Really
at the
swollen.
time, she was looking very swollen, and I would tell her, like, maybe you got diabetes. But I remember asking her, because Leilani didn't know she was pregnant. So I remember asking her, like, are you pregnant or whatever? And she's like, no, like, I'm not pregnant. Like, I still, get my monthly. Like, I'm not pregnant or whatever. But when she came out the bathroom and she said she needed to go to the hospital,
I was so for real.
I was like, okay, let me get your stuff ready. But I noticed that her equilibrium was completely off.
I was like off balance. I couldn't do anything.
Right. So like she would so I'm talking to her and she would talk to me over here.
Mm-hmm.
She thought I was over here, and that's how I knew like she couldn't. When
I say I have to go to the hospital, that means I gotta go to the hospital. Like, I don't like going to the hospital. So when I said that, I was like, no, I have to go.
Yeah. So so when she got in the car, I also noticed that she couldn't move her legs. We didn't know that she had 2 strokes and 2 seizures. We didn't know none of that. They don't even know how she was able to function. They didn't even know how she was able to even text. So I guess, we got her in the car. Mind you, this is like 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
We were all asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So her uncle got her in the car. Her uncle and Justin got her in the car. Shout out to Gordo, because he was the one that drove. And
he was speed racer.
That's regular.
Justin calls me and he was telling me that she was having a seizure, and I told Lamont, and at the time you were actually living in your apartment, but by the grace of God you fell asleep here.
Yeah.
By accident.
Yes.
By accident. And so I had told Lamont, like, yo, like, you gotta wake up, like, Leilani's having a seizure, she's in the car or whatever. And he's, he started to get ready. I called my job, and I'm here, like, trying to think, like, what, like, I don't know what could be going on. When I go to the hospital, when we get to the hospital, they tell us, like, basically, like, did you know that she was pregnant, that she was 6 months pregnant? And we're like, no, because Leilani didn't even look pregnant.
No,
she looked like she gained weight, but she did not look like she was pregnant. And so they basically told us that she had full-blown full-blown eclampsia. So I had pre-eclampsia with Kiani. She had full-blown eclampsia. So that was like 10 times worse than what I had.
My blood pressure was 290 over like 100 and something.
Like 170.
Yeah.
Yep. We end up going to the hospital. I end up going in the ambulance with her. Lamont follows. When we get there, it was like a scene from Grey's Anatomy. They literally had 30 nurses and doctors. They had cardiology there. They had neurology there. They had the birthing doctors there. They were all fighting for her. It was very crazy. I remember I was like in autopilot. Like I was just, like I couldn't process everything at the time. I worked at a hospital before, so I know that I can just listen to what they're saying. I just had to be quiet and listen. A nurse just, tells me, like, we're going to do everything we need to do to, like, save her.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to cry because I was like, she has a baby. Like,
the problem was you had one set of doctors worried about only trying to save her. Mm-hmm. You had the other set worrying about saving the baby. And I was just in the hallway because I get aggravated easy, and then it starts going crazy. But long story short, Vanessa comes out and she tells me what they're saying, and my exact words were, that's not their fucking decision. If they think they're going to choose one and not the other, I'm killing everybody in that room. I don't care. Like, I'm going to go to jail. But if you take either my grandchild or my daughter, to me, it's I snap. That's perfectly fine. And the doctor that delivered Malia, she just came out and she was like, told Vanessa, like, I'm gonna make sure we get both of them. We can save both of them. That's what we're gonna do. Tell your husband he don't have nothing to worry about. But And then that wasn't the worst though, because
No.
with her pregnancy, then remember Tori ended up in the hospital and
Every-
Denise.
Yeah.
So we were literally
We had 3 people at the hospital at the same damn time.
and then see we didn't know how bad Leilani's actual situation
No.
was. I don't think like we started to find out shit in bits and pieces, and you got to remember in the midst of this, it's like you're relying on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, it was me, Vanessa, and it's Justin. And we're all like, and no offense, that nigga was scared shitless. Vanessa, you could tell she was holding it together, but she wasn't herself. So it's like, oh, I got it.
You got it.
I got it.
You got it.
I got it.
You
Then
got
they're
it
like-
all the time.
They're like, oh, one of y'all gotta go with the baby, one stay with Leilani.
No.
Vanessa's like, I'm staying with Leilani. I'm like,
But
okay. And then it's like, I was her parent in a sense. So if anything went bad,
Mhm.
oh, Lamont, you got to decide. I'm like, what
Yeah.
the
let me
fuck
just
is
say,
that, cuz?
before all of that, when the nurse, the birthing doctor, when she was talking to us, she seen that we were nervous, and she seen that Lamont was upset and that I was upset because, you know, their main concern was Leilani, not the baby. So she literally took us to a different room, kicked everybody out the room. Mind you, Leilani was not able to talk, but she was very aware. She told us that the baby had 31% chance of surviving, and she felt very confident
That they will both live.
that they will both live.
Mm-hmm.
I have goosebumps saying that.
Mhm.
She felt very confident, and she told me, but we first need to get an MRI or a CAT scan, I think it was, of her brain, because she just kept having seizures. You know what I mean? So I went with her downstairs, and Lamont stood upstairs. He was waiting for Justin. We go downstairs. The doctors downstairs for the room, for the testing, they didn't know what was going on with her. So, like, they were talking shit and complaining because Leilani would not sit still. Leilani was just moving everywhere, all over. And, because, like I said, she was very aware, but she didn't know. It was so
blacked
weird.
out.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember anything.
Your body
I
was on autopilot.
Yeah, like literally.
But I don't think they got to do the CAT
They
scan
didn't.
because
She kept,
So
her
what
heart, the
happens-
heart rate kept dropping.
so in the midst of this, Justin is on his way, whatever. So they take Leilani to go get the scan. They can't do it. The baby's coming, essentially. That's what it is. Like, oh, we're going to save them both now? So this is what we got to do.
Yeah.
So it was like Grey's Anatomy. All that shit you see on Grey's Anatomy, that shit really
Real
be
life.
happening.
That's
Like,
real
niggas
life.
don't understand. But hold on, because they're talking shit about me in here, so. Okay, so. Kev said, question for Lamont. How was it making the baby? Pretty easy, right? Yeah, Kev, pretty easy, pretty fast. All right, that's cool for you? That's a good answer. He said, and then he said, Gordo, Speedy, oh, God.
Oh, he was.
I
speeding
said,
that day.
Kev, he's a NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
Gabby said, that's fucking effing crazy. Checkers drive-through said enough. Kevin, he still says that we're exaggerating on that
People
conversation.
going 90 on the highway.
And he
Don't
said-
let him tell you shit.
He says, oh no, I wasn't going that fast. Whatever. Bianca says, reliving it. Oh, we all are right now.
Yeah.
We all know, no patience. Kevin goes, preach. Wow, okay. And I say, wow, for the kids, none. Don't blame the kids. You have zero patience in general. Wow, that's messed up. They almost got the rotten Uncle Peaches. Man, yo, I could tell you just that whole shit, just like, from my point of view, we wake up, Vanessa's like, oh, she gotta go to the hospital. At the time, we didn't have a car. So, Gordo was living in Wilkes-Barre with his brother. And as they called him, he just happened to be passing. And this is why, like, you don't gotta believe in God, or you could believe in whatever you want to believe in. But, like I say, there's a higher power. And that higher power had a plan, because as Gordo's passing, we
called
call.
him.
So
called
he
him to pick me up.
takes her. But, so now, in my eyes, I'm like, all right, I gotta take a shower. Because when they're telling me what's going on, I'm a logical guy. It's not looking good. So I'm in the shower and I'm just like, listen, like, I don't want to put evil into this world, but if something happens to my kid, There's gonna be a lot of evil in this world, and like if you know what's best, don't put me in that predicament, right? Then we get the call as I'm getting out the shower. She had like another seizure or stroke. So boom, we go to the ER. We're in the ER and it's me and Vanessa sitting in there and I'll never forget. He's like, they ask, "Oh, she pregnant?" I'm like, "Nah, not that we know of. No, she shouldn't be."
Right.
And they're like, and they come back. He like, "She like 25 weeks." I'm like, hold up. And I'm trying to count in my
I'll
head.
get
And
my
then
ass beat while I'm like having a seizure.
nah, then I get mad because I'm like, oh, they're trying to hide and like, you need prenatal care. You need to make sure your blood, like, you got to be healthy to deliver a baby.
Leilani was still taking birth
So
control.
then, me, I'm already crazy angry at that point. So on the way out, I punched the wall. The security guard, he don't say nothing. He's just like, this nigga wildin'. He let me go. Next thing I know, they're like, oh, we got to take her to Cedar Crest. And then next thing I know, we get to Cedar first off, the ambulance come. And this is something that needs to be said. There was 3 EMTs that day. And her situation was so crazy, the EMTs came back to check on her. Everybody,
when they heard I was up, everyone came to visit me.
They thought it was a great miracle. So it was.
but remember, they weren't going to tell the EMTs nothing at
No.
first. And then we had to tell them, like, nah, like,
Let
they
'em in.
saved our daughter.
Yeah.
They
They
got that right. You know what I'm saying?
It was so like I said, like her heart rate kept dropping, so they had to like do an emergency C-section. Like Lamont said, one of us had to go with Leilani, and then one of us had to go with the baby. Lamont went with the baby. I couldn't leave Leilani there by herself. Then Leilani was in a coma for
a week. I woke up on
over
the
a week. It was over a week.
Woke up on the 7th day.
You woke up on the 7th day, but they
Yeah.
couldn't take the tube out, so you were there for a while.
Yeah. I was there for another day until they could take me.
So, I strongly believe in the power of prayer. I think we all prayed. Everybody prayed. Everybody. Oh my gosh, so many people reached out to us. So many people prayed. They told us basically like, I didn't, like I said, I was an autopilot. I just wanted to get my kid there and make sure she was okay. I didn't tell anyone anything that happened to her until like 8:00 at night because we were trying to all figure out like what is going on. And I was trying to reach out to like, Leilani doesn't really have friends. She has cousins. So I'm like trying to reach out to her cousins like, did you know she was pregnant or whatever? But like,
nah, we started pressing niggas low key.
Yeah.
Nito got pressed first though.
Yeah,
and he was like, bitch, are you crazy? Lamont will kill me.
No, it's because he told me to get my birth control pills.
Yes, he did.
Hey, Chrissy.
So it was like, we were pressing everybody, but like, it didn't really hit me.
Didn't we ask I think we even asked BB, like, yo, did you know something? She was like,
we asked everybody.
no, we were asking everybody because it was just so, even Justin was like, I didn't know. If she was pregnant, she didn't tell me.
Right,
I'm
right.
like, oh, this shit is crazy.
And so we came home. I came home, and that's when it hit me when me and Justin were talking. Like, like she could be brain dead, she could be paralyzed, and I'm like, what?
No, we were just like, we were giving you credit and explaining like, there's mad crazy shit, and you're holding it together, and then her face was just like, oh, all that shit hit her, boom.
All that
oh
shit hit me.
God.
I was hysterical, crying. When we went back to the hospital, the doctors were like, she's young. So right
her body
now,
will recover.
Right. So right now, it's up to her body to recover. Like, we can't do anything from our end. She has to do it from her end. And
as fucked up as it was, though, is glad it happened at the age it did. They said like, because if she was older, they're like, nah, coming back would have been basically not happening type situation.
Yeah. The baby was born 1 pound,
13 ounces.
13 ounces. And let me tell y'all, like, she, from the minute she was born, she was very active. What?
Don't make me cry. Don't say something.
She was very active. She knew. She knew she was gonna make it. I just get emotional talking about her.
Soft.
She knew exactly who her mom was when her mom held her for the first time. She reached up and touched her face. And to see a 1 pound baby do that,
Yeah.
it's,
shoot.
when I tell y'all, like, I can't.
Soft.
I know.
Soft. But like Kev said in chat though, listen, yo, it stopped a lot of bad situations and it made it like
it made
it
everyone
did-
come together.
yeah, it like people who were scared to reach out to me reached out to me. Like Kev, white Kev, black Kev, Gordo, like the people that she calls her uncles, like Black Kev, at the time,
He was in
He was
Hawaii.
in
and he was
Hawaii.
stressing, calling every day. White Kev came, and when he came, and he started crying, that was it for me. Nigga sat there for like an hour, held her hand the whole time. And mind you, she's like in a coma, but she was holding
I had,
his
all these
hand.
tubes down my throat.
But Gordo held it down. This
He
nigga
did.
like
he stood
me.
there with me,
We'll stay there during the day.
and he stood there.
And mind you, only family like mom and dad is supposed to stay there, right? And then out of nowhere, Gordo he finessed it where he was able to sleep there. So Gordo
Well,
would sleep
no,
there. We were
well,
like
no.
we were
No, it's
rotating.
because I told them because he was like, oh, I'm just like a close family friend.
You
I
see what
said
Bibi
no. I said that's my uncle.
Knock it
Don't-
off, Marie.
That's like my uncle. Don't listen to him. That's my uncle. Like he's known me since I was in middle school. Like that's my uncle.
Yeah.
So they let him stay because every time he was there, I wasn't allowed to go home till my blood pressure went down.
Mm-hmm.
And every day I was crying because I wasn't home. So he would stay there, and for some reason he was the only person that my blood pressure would stay consistent.
It would
Wouldn't
stay
go
low,
up.
yeah. And he was giving updates. And nigga
Yeah.
was when they were telling him something, he's writing it down. He's sending us pictures, and he's googling shit, all that. But let me get into a few comments. Kevin said, "I hate showing my emotions," and during that time, I did. BB said, "Oh, Nani," and then Bianca commented on Kev, said Lamont Jr. I said, and I told Kev he was crying and stuff. Chrissy showing love from Australia. We love you, girl. And BB said, "Oh, and now you guys are grandparents." Kev, Lamont, youngest grandfather of all time. Gabby put hearts. I said 28 and great, baby. He said soft piece of shit. Damn, Gabby, thanks, bro. BB said, knock it off, Marie. Kelvin said, wait, I'm lurking and shit. You're a granddad? Yes, at the end of the show, I'll bring my children and my granddaughter out for y'all to see them. I'll let them say hi and stuff. Kev said, my story with Zai was pretty simple. Got a text at 4 a.m. She had a C-section, showed up after school, spent time with her, changed my first diaper, then went to work. I would never forget how did I change a diaper. This is pretty. How do I change a diaper? This is pretty hard. Listen. First off, too, like, remember when they were like, oh, because for a while only Leilani. No, who was I the first one to hold her?
Yeah.
Because I had to change the diaper.
Yes.
So
You were
check
the
this
first
out.
one. You had the
Because I was
bracelet.
scared.
Asshole Justin, asshole Leilani. They're like, oh, y'all can change the diaper now.
Change
So
it.
I'm here, like, I'm just support system,
No.
right?
My daddy to the
Leilani's like,
rescue.
Pop, Dad, you got it. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh hell, I'm like all nervous and shit.
I made him do it. I held her that same day though.
Yeah.
But you changed her diaper way before that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That was
that's when I
Justin
held
would
her
do
though.
it.
I
Yeah,
held her
yeah.
though that time.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, pressure on Lamont. He got it.
Yeah.
Daddy,
We have a
yeah, Poppy,
picture.
Poppy, no. That shit was crazy. That whole situation was crazy. But we were there, so like I said, Leilani was there. Vanessa's sister ended up going to the ER, and my sister ended up in the same hospital on the same floor.
All of them.
And when
yeah.
and my sister's such a fucking asshole. She tried to hide it. She didn't want nobody to know. And we found out. And when we found out, the receptionist, she was like, I don't know how you do it. I feel like my heart goes out to you. Like your daughter, then your sister. She's like, you guys should go crazy. Like this is crazy. It was just such a hectic time. I don't think in that moment I didn't have time to really be like. I was only thought about it when I was in the shower, and I was just like, I'm telling you what's gonna happen if something bad happens.
Bring up
Besides
those
that,
Those
it was
mean
crazy.
kids. And not only that, like,
Bring out those meanies.
not only that, So like I said, Leilani, she couldn't really remember from what
She
happened.
don't even remember picking the fucking name.
No,
Right.
I do.
And-
I do because I don't remember like all the names that Justin was saying, but I remember I woke up for her
So
name.
you don't remember.
I woke
Nigga
up for
said
her
like
name.
12 names.
That nigga said 12 names. I woke up for Malia.
And the one that he's like, I ain't gonna lie. One of them was like Phoenix, and I just looked at him, I was like,
he's
nigga,
a
no.
dummy.
I told him straight,
I
like,
was
no,
going
bro.
for Phoenix. I was feeling Phoenix.
Mm-mm.
I was feeling Phoenix.
Not me. I'm like, Papa, that's no bueno.
I heard I was making faces.
Nah, with
Yeah.
Phoenix, you were like,
You're like,
you
no
had
way.
my face. You're like, I'm like, yeah. I was like, no bueno. Kevin, story with Bella. Bella mom was like, I'm having contractions, and I was like, nah, you're good. I went back to sleep. Later in the morning, I'm in school, and I get a call. I'm about to give birth. I was like, oh shit. Took the test, dipped out, and witnessed my first child being born. It was an amazing moment. Kev, how did you feel? How did it feel to actually see your child be born and stuff like that? All right, so with Lila, well, let me start with Kyla. Kyla, I was super young, but her mom's because how it started was the mucus plug broke.
I never
So
had that.
her mucus plug broke. We go to the hospital.
Oh,
Boom.
that was a C-section.
So we go, and then she gets super dilated, and then it's like, it stops. It's like a hole. But I'll never forget that at the time they had the little epidural shit that you could press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She went through like a whole one.
Yo, she's
And I told her in the hospital, I said, yo, if my kid come doped out, I'm knocking you the fuck out. You don't got far to go. You already here. You gonna put you to sleep. Like, my daughter gonna come out a dope head because you keep fucking this epidural shit, right? But it goes from that to, they were just like, nah, we have to have a C-section. And I'm like, you know, I'm young, but I'm like, oh, something's not good then. This isn't good. And I'll just never forget, like, so they had the curtain where they were doing what they were doing, and I was on the, like, I could see her, like, her upper body. Mm-hmm. And she, like, to me, it was scary because she was, like, twitching and shit. And in my head, I'm like, I hope I don't witness a death right now. Like, this is, like, I don't know about all this. Like, this is mad extra shit going on. Like, is like, in my head, is she supposed to shake like that? Is the baby gonna be okay? Like, what the fuck is going on? Long story short, everything was good. Then they were, like, weighing the baby and shit, and I felt like the nurse was being, like, too aggressive. And DT Angel had to be like, just let her do her job. Because, like, grabbing them by, like, one, like, I'm like, hold on, bitch. I'll grab you by one leg in this bitch.
But you know,
it's a little baby.
Yes, but you know that they do that because sometimes
Of
the medication. I know.
I don't want to hear that shit. Don't grab my baby like a little turkey. Like, here, little turkey, little bit. Here, little $5 chicken, cuz. Like, no, bitch, I'll knock you the fuck out, cuz. That's my baby. Marie, did you cook today? She's going to, baby.
Yeah, I put not yet. I texted. Well, I mean, at least you were there because for Leilani, when I was in the hospital, I was really by myself.
Your whole birth with me is on recording.
Yeah,
embarrassing.
I seen myself coming to this room.
Right.
I seen myself.
My dad, he was the one that was like,
he made sure he recorded everything.
Everything.
Until I was 10.
Yeah. Pretty much. But the one that actually helped me get through that pregnancy, like that birth, was actually my dad. If it wasn't for him, I don't know, man, because it's frustrating when people are telling you to push and you're pushing.
No, you can see in the whole video, she's like, "Mom, stop."
No. From then on, I had told Denise, I will never forget, I told my sister, like, from now on, I do not want mom in the rooms when I give birth. I need you. I'm sorry. My sister is like my mother. I love my sister. There's only 2 people in this world that could really bring me back to my place and back to, like, keep me sane, and it's Lamont and my sister. And from that moment on, I couldn't have my mom in the room anymore. I just could not. Like, it was a no-go for me. But for Leilani, I was super scared. I remember waking up at, like, 4 o'clock in the morning, too, walking around the apartment complex where I was living at with my sister. My sister started a new job. No, I live with Denise. And Denise had started a new job. She was doing training all the way in Easton. And I remember Denise telling me, like, do you need me to stay? And I was like, nah, girl, go. Like, you just started work. I just walk. Like, I'll just walk.
She gonna walk, have this baby.
That's exactly what I did. And I called my dad. My dad picked me up, dropped me off at the hospital. Everybody was at work. I was just there by myself. When I was getting when them contractions was hitting, I was screaming, I was crying. They had to come in and be like, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. You're scaring everybody. I said, well, this is painful. Like, I'm only 17. Like, I didn't know anything about anything. So, you know, but it was, it was scary. For Lila.
Lila's was crazy too. All our kids have a story. Like, why can't it just be a regular shit?
For Lila, Lamont never left my side when I was pregnant.
But remember,
Ever.
I had that
job
vision when I
yeah.
was talking to the baby, and I said she's gonna be born when I go to Philly for the draft, and I even knew exactly what time.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a vision in my head, and then man, Philly, we just get when we get to Philly, it's like maybe we hear the first 4 draft picks. So we're there for like a good hour, and Vanessa calls me. My water broke, and at first I'm like, "Yo, do you want me to come?" And she's like, "No, da 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 da." I'm like, "Nah, I'm coming." So I tell the guys like, "Yo, we gotta go. Let's go." The whole way leaving the stadium, Matt is like, "Yo, my boy's about to have a baby from his dick, da 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 da." All this crazy shit ran in people's face. He's saying all this crazy shit. Dog, from Philly to Allentown took me like 40 minutes tops. I was doing 120 on that bitch the whole way back. I was gunning it to get back for the birth.
Bianca, I think you were at the hospital with me, right? I think it was me, you, Denise, and Jordy. If I remember, because I remember, like, I felt like my water broke, but it was because she hit my bladder so hard. She did some kind of movement. And I went to the hospital, and I told Lamont, like, like I said, he never left my side when I was pregnant with Lila. And ever. And that day, it was like, I didn't want to ruin his time. And it was like he was going to the Eagle Stadium and stuff.
He was hyped.
He was not hyped. So I didn't want to ruin his time. So I was like, I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. I'm okay for now. Them contractions was hitting. And they were like, oh, you're only 3 centimeters. I was like, no, I'm not going nowhere. Because remember, we kept going to the hospital that week. I was like, I'm not going nowhere. So an hour goes by and they checked me and they were like, oh, you're 7 centimeters dilated. We're definitely going to keep you here. We're going to look for a bed for you. And they found a bed. They finally let Lamont come to the back. And I am not lying. Literally from the room that I was in to
another room
down the hall.
Baby coming.
I was already at, 10
plus.
10 plus centimeters.
She said 10 plus 1.
I couldn't get no epidural, no nothing. They were like, nah, girl, you got to start pushing right now.
But once you started pushing, 5 minutes tops. Because remember, Kristen was speeding over there too. She just missed it. You see what Kev said?
What?
Kev said, Vanessa, didn't I show up like an hour or 2 after Lamont?
I think you did.
That was a wild
and
day.
And I think Bianca actually walked in when when Lila came out.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It was definitely something like that.
Yeah. It was good times. It was great. My sister was telling me that when I gave birth, when I was pushing, that my face turned not red, but like purple.
The nurse told you to breathe.
Yep.
She said, breathe, you gotta breathe.
Yep.
You gotta breathe. You about to kill yourself.
Yep.
Trying to give birth.
For sure. But, and ever since then, when I gave birth to her like that, I was like, yo, I could do that shit. Like, I don't need no medication. I could do this. Like, it was great. And I healed so much faster, so much better.
She's trying to say I just fucked her up.
What? No, the epidural did fuck me up. Yo, I don't care what anybody says. If you are a pregnant woman and you take that epidural shot, I know you guys feel me on this. Your back be fucked up for like 2-3 years. Your back will never be the same. Never. I don't care what anybody says. It was horrible. Horrible, horrible. You're lucky you had a C-section, girl. And your scar is not bad.
It's nice.
It's not bad at all. I feel like a lot of people that get
It looks
C-sections, they get like those, like
It
the
heals.
bubble scars.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm talking
No, yeah,
about?
mine don't look like that.
And a lot of people get staples too. You didn't get staples, did you?
No, I had this what's it called? Stitches that were like gonna go
The
away.
dissolvable.
Dissolvable, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but by the time I woke up already, like, it was healed. Like, they were healing. It was going away. Because I didn't do anything. I was in coma for, like, 7 days.
Yeah. You stayed in the hospital for like
2 weeks.
for
It
2
was
weeks.
2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I was starting to get over it. I was crying all the time.
Yeah.
It was crazy because when I knew I didn't know I was going home that day, but they came in and I literally was crying on the phone like, Mom, I want to go home. I want to go home. I was crying. And then the doctors came in and I just left you on the phone. And they were like, girl, you could go home today. I was like, okay.
But let me just say, like, it was a struggle too because you had full-blown eclampsia
Mm-hmm.
and you were still asking people to bring you food.
No, listen,
Stop.
don't let her tell you. No.
That's the truth.
That is the
You were
truth.
eating shit you weren't supposed to eat.
That
They
is the
didn't
truth.
tell me that.
That's the fuck
No,
they
they
did.
didn't.
Yes, they
After
did.
they did, then I stopped.
Yeah, right.
I promise.
You
Gordo.
stopped when I cursed you out.
No, I didn't know. They didn't say I was on a diet.
Vanessa,
They did.
what was
No,
the
they
phone
didn't.
call and me cursing out Gordo?
Yeah.
Gordo said,
No, they
I
didn't.
didn't know. And then the nurse even came in and said, I told Leilani